I was listening to him talk about it. He's all wound up. And he gets up early and he works all day and he comes home at like 9 at night, and puts some food in his mouth and then he's back working until 12 or 1 a.m. I mean, I don't know if that was his exact story, but that was the impression that I got. I think it's important to be very, very persistent. There's a lot of value in showing up. I don't know what the quote is, 80% of success is showing up or something like that. There's truth to that. Uh, Outside of business, just with working out, I remember there were times I'd drag myself to the gym even if I didn't feel like going. And you knew you only put in about 20% of your capabilities working out wise, but that's 20% more than if you had just stayed home. All that being said, there is such a thing as burnout. And I think that when you're working on something, it's easy to kind of lose perspective and get so wrapped up in it that you don't know when to take a step back and you can burn out. And I've had that. I mean, my business is very intense. The advertising world is nonstop. People are advertising 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's not like they advertise just between 9 and 5 and then the money stops getting spent when you leave work. No, the campaigns are going. They just keep going and going and going, and so the emails keep coming. Plus, in addition to your existing book of business, you're always out there trying to bring in new clients. So it's never ending. There is no finish line. But you also have to be smart enough to know when you got to unplug. Now, in my case, I let the steam out a lot over time. I'm not one of those people that's interested in taking 2 weeks off. I don't even know how people do that. But what I do is after work, almost every day, I'm going to the gym, at least, during the week, at least 2-3 times, maybe 4 a week. Go and work out for an hour. It gets out the angst. It loosens you up. I also work standing up. I bought one of those stand-up desks, and I can tell you that helps prevent just stagnation. Just keeps you moving. And then when I come home, I disconnect. I disconnect for a while. I spend time with my family, and I have dinner, and I don't check my cell phone while I'm eating dinner. Leave it upside down, face down. If it's an emergency, they'll call, and they never call. And my boss said something to me once that I thought was sage advice. He said, I asked him, how do you unplug, with all these incoming problems and whatnot? He says, I just tell myself that the problems will be there in the morning. And it's true, because they will be. And now, you can't be laissez-faire about it, because you can start to get behind. So, but I think, you do the best you can. And then after I spend time with the family, I usually go and check my emails to make sure that the world hasn't come to a screeching halt. In the couple hours I unplug to spend time with my family. And then from there, I don't work too late because you need sleep. You're not going to bring your best self. I mean, these people that get 4 hours of sleep a night. I remember this one guy. He's is it Vanderchuck or something? Yeah, that name. I was listening to him talk about it. He's all wound up. And he gets up early and he works all day and he comes home at like 9 at night. And puts some food in his mouth, and then he's back working until 12 or 1 a.m. I mean, I don't know if that was his exact story, but that was the impression that I got. And I just said to myself, is that really a life? I mean, I know you're successful, and no question. I mean, the guy is incredibly successful, but I know that there's not balance in the sense everything gets its perfect proportion, and there's no perfect formula. But to me, I never want to make that deal with the devil, where I'm so over-leveraged in the work that other things suffer, like family. You never get time back. You never get your kid's childhood back. And it's not worth it. Because when you're laying there on your deathbed, I'll tell you a little quick story. So in 2014, my mom died of cancer. And I remember visiting her in the hospital. I went back 3 times once I knew that the cancer had spread to her brain. And the third time I didn't make it in time. But the second time I went, we were moving her from one room to the next. And the only thing that mattered to her was this knit cap to keep her head warm. That's it. The money doesn't matter. Cars don't matter. The rewards don't matter. What mattered at that moment was a knit cap. And I think that it's easy to lose perspective. So if you feel yourself going a little crazy, take a step back. I have a tough time with it. Sometimes my boss will say, hey, why don't you go for a walk? You know, because he can see him. It's like this, you know, and just sitting there, and your eyes are bloodshot, and the bags are starting to form, but it's not even night. You know, it's you know, you got to know when to walk away, because you have to hit the reset button, and that's important.